So I've always said I want to be a teacher, like that I wish I had, in the sense that I was the most bored student of all time. And it's because like I just just what like I remember like one time, you know, in kindergarten or whatever, preschool maybe even, they gave us a piece of paper that was like this big and they were like, make a pattern. And I was like, oh, I was rolling my eyes at how boring that was because it was Halloween themed and they only gave us orange and black. And then I decided, you know what? I obviously know how to make a pattern. I'm going to make it bigger than it can fit on this paper. And so then my teacher didn't let me have recess because she was like, that's not a pattern. And I was like, it is. I just didn't have enough paper and she wouldn't give me 2 pieces. I was like challenging myself so much that I like looked dumb. And so anyway, I guess like actually that's kind of like a problem I have now is I try to do too much and so just focusing on goals or whatever. But at the moment I'm building out a whole curriculum. I'm trying to, you know, make a, you know, $1 billion product.
I love your whole like path that you've been on. So how many years would you say you've been a teacher now, or like instructing people?
Okay, well, I've been an official teacher for 8 years. However, like even when I was in middle school, they were always like putting me to teach the younger kids, and then I always like would take one period and go work with special ed. Like I've been like unofficially teaching for like 20 years now. But officially for probably 8. Yeah. You know, hobby teaching.
Okay. Teaching. So then right now in the classes and in the things that you're teaching, like what platforms are you using to teach?
So at the moment I'm working on Canva. However, I've learned like Google Slides is interactive. So I'm going to go over to Google Slides. I just need to, you know, download specific PNGs and all this, you know, whatever. And then Zoom. Yeah. And then I host my classes on OutSchool, but also we're trying to host them on our private website as well. It's just like the market. Oh my God, you know, 1,000 things to do. But yeah, Zoom, Canva, and then Google Slides. And then, you know, maybe Cambio Journey one day.
Yeah. Okay, so you talked about like working on Canva and maybe moving over to Google Slides. You mentioned like being interactive. Could you tell me more about like the way that you use the interactivity, just so I can understand more?
So basically, like I'm teaching you know, so the one I'm starting with is a kindergarten curriculum about coins. And so, for example, the topic of lesson 2 is pennies. And so, all right, let's say lesson 3. And that's where we introduce the nickel. And so, for example, one activity is there's a bunch of coins and then there's like penny, nickel. And then what I've been doing is drawing lines like, wow, look at this line. But I guess actually kids, you know, I think like they can drag and drop. And then, you know, as well, like our character is Walt to the vault. And so I want, you know, I'm a freaking hobbyist, everything, graphic designer. And so it's like, I obviously understand how you could make 2 layers. And so like, it'd be like, go. And then you'll actually make it disappear from behind a layer. Yeah. And so mostly dragging and dropping. However, like, yeah, I've taught on apps before in China that have, I mean, that's my dream is they have whack-a-mole games. They have bubbles and you have to pop the right bubble. Like these are all teaching vocabulary, foot, you know, whatever, foot, arm, eye. And it's like, press the foot. And then there's bubbles floating around and they pop whack-a-mole spinning wheels. I mean, yeah, like what I've seen out there, I want to reach that level. It's not so popular in the US, but for now, all I'm expecting to be able to do myself is drag and drop with kids.
Okay. So then those tools that you've been using, like Canva, Google Slides, like I guess which one of the tools that you use, which has had like the best way that they've taught you how to use that tool? Like you said, you were having some issues like learning Google Slides.
Oh yeah. So you're catching me like literally like all I've done is Canva so far. And then I've learned like, okay, you have to go to Google Slide. And so I was like watching a YouTube tutorial or something. And I'm like, okay, that's exactly what I thought I would have to do. And so now I'm just like, I guess I'll have to do it. So I think I really appreciate the fact about Canva that like you can create everything on there. However, the loading is insane because there's so many different stickers that whenever I hand over this to another teacher, if their internet isn't so high, it's like, things appear. So I need to download it all as a PNG and just have it be like a simple sheet, a 2D situation. So I think that's a little bit like just all that kind of stuff is the most annoying thing on earth to me. Organizing things and slowing down and like downloading stuff and pulling it over carefully. So I'm like, oh God, that's why I haven't yet. And I'm doing a couple things, but yeah, like I need to pick it over and then bring it over to Google Slides, because I guess that will be worth it because of this interactive feature, which will make us, more will it be worth it? I don't know. Oh, I'm like, what, like, would it even be worth it? And so for now, honestly, I'm trying to train teachers. So I have I have 4 teachers maybe coming on to work with me, and teach my classes. And for now, I think I just want to keep it on Canva because that's going to be insanely annoying to pull it over. And like, we're still not making a profit. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, okay, hold on. Like I'm doing 1,000 things. So I think for now I'm happy with Canva, but maybe in the future, this interactivity will be on my priority list.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Like you talked about the other teachers that you're training, and it sounds like you're would you say that you're the one making like the lesson plans and what these teachers would be doing?
They have originally is they had some girl write 3 curriculums, and they're each 8 classes for them, but they were written in person. And so when they first met me, they were like, you can teach these online. And for some reason I was like, cannot compute. It says pass out coins to kids, but I'll be on Zoom. And so anyway, then I was able to like figure it out eventually, like, 2 years later, I was like, oh, okay, like let's just flip and use our imaginations. And so now I never have written any of these classes. I've only written my own classes. I wrote a whole bunch of classes. I was like, I don't understand this. I'll write my own. So I wrote one called like taxes everywhere, credit versus debit, all these different like classes. But now what we're going to do, so we have kindergarten, first grade, and second grade. We want to have pre-K, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So we were thinking, you guys, like, this is horrible, but it's the future. It's not that horrible because it's using your resources and I'll contribute to it too. Like I just went to this meeting like 2 days ago at a Microsoft because I'm living in Seattle, so like everyone, like Microsoft is everywhere. And it was a guy talking about AI and education. And he was showing how like entire schools can be like schedules and that can all be used with AI. And so I was like, duh. And so I think we're going to get our pre-K, our 3rd, our 4th, and 5th written by AI, these next 8 classes. And then I'll go through and edit them because I'm like the world's best assistant, but I can't come up with that. And so I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be awesome. So I'll help write those in the future with AI.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, tell me about, like you said, you're like the master at assisting. So basically, like editing the lesson plan. Like, tell me more about like how you would go about actually editing these lesson plans, even those ones you started with that needed to be edited to be virtual as well.
Okay, but actually, I'm like, give me a break. Okay, I'm like, oh my God, I feel like you're my therapist now. I'm like, okay, let's be honest. I hate reading. I literally hate reading. So what I would probably need to do, like, I'm not one of those people that reads and learns unless it's like a really fun fiction book, or I don't know. Like, I just never ever read and learn, or it's like Reddit and everyone's like talking, and memes and like, so probably I would just like, I feel like I need an audience, right? Or I need like a sounding board, but also I won't let them speak. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm like I need people so I'll probably find somebody, like a trusted person on this team the first time would talk through this and be like, oh, that's what it says. And then come up with ideas, start building it out, come up, probably like need to just jump in and do it. Yeah, that's literally probably how I would do it. Because that's my learning style.
Okay. But and who's this other person you would usually like bounce ideas off of and work with?
Well, we have a couple. We have a couple on this team. We have another girl who's head of like business administration. And then I have those teachers I'm training, which I can go through with them. But yeah, I guess there's like a couple people on demand, but mostly kind of the at the same level as me, or a little bit higher up within our team at the moment. And then I've had a parent volunteer too with a kid. She has like a son that's 5. And so I'm thinking of also giving them, I'm like, would you really do it? but I'll give it to them for free, you know, and like if they don't mind going through and taking notes, I would also love their feedback. I mean,
right.
yeah.
So it does sound like a very like feedback, like collaborative process. I'm wondering like how long does that process take in order to like customize a lesson plan?
Right. I'm like, I think I'll just follow my intuition. And once I'm like, all right, enough's enough. Let's move on to first grade. You know, I don't know. I mean, I've like for like really for the ones that I'm taking from that teacher and building out now, I'm just like, she's the best. Like I'm literally blown away. Like, cause I'm like, wow, this is such a good lesson plan. And then I'm just building exactly what I see. And so I think with the AI, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'll probably just, I don't know, no answer. No
Oh,
idea.
but tell me about that that person. Like, what made it a good lesson plan? Like, what type of components? Like, what really made you think that it was
God.
good?
I'm like, you're right. You're right. I'm like, don't get me started. It's so amazing. It's like all these 8 classes are different. I mean, I just am like I don't know. It's just it's like I'm like in the murder mysteries. I never know who did it. You know what? I never know. I'm always surprised, and that's how I feel like these classes are. Is it's like it's so beautiful. There's such variety. Like one day you color like a tiny bit, and then like again like it's like a well thought out TV show almost. It's like, you know, I don't know if you've ever seen Arrested Development. It's like there's so many jokes that carry on just the tiniest little side comment the whole entire season. And so it's like she has it worked in there. Like we mentioned money today, and then tomorrow it's like, or the next class it's like, remember when we said money? Goo 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 goo. And then like sometimes it's like experimental, you know, like let's start off the class by touching, and then sometimes it's like, you know, review, and then sometimes it's a game, and then sometimes, but also it kind of follows this format. And I'm trying to think of what then I'm building out these. I mean, you won't even believe it. Like I literally should like I won't do you justice if I don't at least offer to show you some of these PowerPoints I'm building out, because they're just stunning. Do you want to see?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah.
you won't believe it. Okay.
Hopefully you have control. I think you have control to do that.
Okay, here. I think it's showing my screen. Yeah. So these are based off of like the programs I was building in China, or that I was teaching on in China. Can you guys see this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So it's like our main show, the review, like the words to learn. This actually is a music video that plays, and the music plays like our theme song. Like there's kind of like, I don't know. Honestly, it's kind of funny. Like there's like this, we'll be able to pull them and put them into Walter. This one,
Yeah.
like you knock on the doors, like it'd be cool, like knock, 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 Penny, are you home? Um, yeah, actually, I'll just show you like one more. So I'm building out like all 8 of these, and these are all the worksheets to go with them. Like let's just look at one more. This one, I don't know. Yeah, so like this is what I've done for kindergarten. Is they're just like so beautiful, like storybooks almost. Yeah, this is what I was telling you about, like the coloring.
Yeah.
Do you remember the name? I've been using like AI to like extend all of our pictures. You know, a lot of it is just simply pictures because it's for really young kids, 4 and 5-year-old kids. Like this one's really cute. This one's like so cute. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, it's 5 coins. And then this one's like, use your imagination. How many pennies are you grabbing in your hand? Because, you know, we're not in person. This one would be like, pull them in. It's like 50 coins. So maybe they would be able to pull them in or something. And then
so if I understand, these are slides that you're creating to build off of the lesson plans that you've got from elsewhere.
That I inherited. Exactly.
Okay.
And then I wrote these.
Also, where did you inherit those from? Like, how did you find them?
I mean, it's like there's only 4 of us on this Wall to the Vault team. And like the 2 are in their 60s and their brother and sister. And then the other one, I think she's like in their 50s. And basically they had a friend that was like a teacher that's my age, our age, and basically wrote them, you know, 24 classes. And so then they gave them to me. And then I built out all these slides using their pictures and AI. And then actually, like, and I even wrote this song, like, and I have music to go with it. Like, say the coins in order, penny, nickel, dime, and quarter. And then, like, you know, it actually, like, it like dances a little and stuff. And like, this is really cool. I'll show you guys. Like, you probably won't be able to hear it, but you can see, like, you know, the movement. It'll probably take a second. But you can see like it's moving, like a little music video.
Yeah, it's super cute that it's all in there. I'm
Yeah.
wondering how for the teachers that you're training, like how do you keep like tips in there, like teaching tips, what they should have up at each time? How do you
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna
include
press
those
stop
things?
sharing. So basically, I'm basing this off of a company I used to work for, and it was called Palfish. And okay, again, I was the world's worst student, and I'm the world's worst employee because like I just like show. That's why I'm starting my own business. It's because like I either like get way too confident, and then I start giving them advice, and they're like, quit giving me advice. But I'm like, what in the world? Why are we doing things differently? Or I just get too bored. And so that's why I extremely loved this company. And I applaud them to this day, is because they were the perfect job for me. And they were tens of thousands of teachers employed, if not hundreds of thousands. And then China made it illegal to have a teacher overseas digitally or at all, because you couldn't do it any other way. But basically it was this interactive on your phone. That's where you taught PowerPoint that looked exactly like this, but also they had whack-a-mole and songs and sound effects and AR. And I could show up, log in. I didn't even need to look at a thing. And I was just able to press the slides. And, eventually I taught the classes, thousands of times. So I knew, all these different classes. But again, you wouldn't even need to prepare. And it'd be so obvious, like there's some shoes. And then again, as you saw on the slides, it says teacher notes on the top right. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to build, is because that's all I can expect from people, like, are they genuinely going to research if they're not getting, this? I want this to be like a side job thing that's educating teachers and kids and parents about financial literacy all at once, providing this resource. And so rather than trying to give all these teachers these lessons, like me, I freaking hate reading lesson plans. I don't like reading, but I love, like, I'm an improviser, I'm an actress. Like, I'm like, let me just show up and do it. I'll do it. I like, don't even worry. And then next time, tell me what I did wrong. And then the next group, but they're going to have a great time and they're going to learn. And so that's kind of what I'm building out now, is I'm teaching them, like, the more I see them teach, I'm like, holy, like, anyone can do this. It's teaching about a penny, and so it's like let you do it how you want. And wow. And so I think as long as I can give them, it's almost like the like bowling with bumpers, like, you're not going to miss. And I'm just trying to raise the standards, honestly, of the energy. I just think the energy and the enthusiasm, and then it's the teaching is, as long as I like the teachers, it's like, if I can provide the parents with these beautiful slides, these amazing songs, this useful activity, like these fantastic worksheets, of course the teacher is going to like it. And then if I don't know, but again, I can only do so much. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. So I'm just trying to make it effortless for them. So they have nothing to do but show up and try and be happy to be there. That's all I'm.
I like that. There's multiple layers that you have to work through in order to get there, but like you're getting there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do wonder, because you mentioned before about like not being very comfortable in making lesson plans yourself. I'm curious, is there anything that you think would make you feel more confident in like, if you had to make your own lesson plans?
Oh my God, I'm like, I've just never done it. Like, and then like, I guess so, but it's like, I'm just like I've always gotten I'm not good at social media. Like, I've been running our social media for 2 years now. And it's because I've been told I'm too preachy, you know what I mean? And like that, like, again, like, that's why I'm always like, wow, I'm like blown away by surprises nonstop. It's because to me, I'm so like literal, like I'm really good at math, and like I can never think of a story, but I can actually I can write songs nonstop in rhyme, right? Like, I'm good with restrictions. So it's like, I just need that, like, I just really need help. Like, I think like maybe my ADHD, that's what I say, like, it's like if I look at like a spoon, then suddenly like I could talk for like, 8 hours about all the things it makes me think of. So I think having more objectives, but then again, it's like thinking of it's just like, I don't even know, like a list or like goals, like in a bunch of notes, like, don't forget to do patty cake on the, notes to self, all sorts of stuff, because I think for me, it's just by like, this is the beauty of what I do too, is I'm able to like teach and change. It's so easy to change this stuff. And so I'm doing that on purpose as well, before we, launch this out for the whole world to get their greasy hands on. And just kidding, no one wants it at all, but they will, like, practice and edit and edit and edit. But yeah, I'm going to use AI. So
okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it makes me think of. Yeah.
Yeah. I would probably use AI too. Just
Cool. I know, we're so lucky. We're so lucky.
yeah. But you mentioned about like your mind kind of going everywhere. So could you like tell us about a time probably that you were in a class and you weren't sure what to do next or what to show next? Like, how did you handle that?
Honestly, I'm also kind of like, I'm also kind of like I think honesty is the best policy in some cases. And so like that's kind of a funny thing to say because you're like, okay. But like maybe in the sense that like if it was turning into a total disaster with the kids, I'd be like, oh my gosh, you guys, this PowerPoint isn't even working. So we're gonna come up with a game, okay? And then we would just kind of like come up with a game on the spot, or like, and then I'm kind of like, I don't mind if kids offer ideas. So we would probably just like check in with the reality of the situation, and then I would just prepare better for next time.
I like that. You even include like complete honesty, include the students into it.
Right. And then even if we're playing a dumb game, it would probably be way more fun because we all experienced like this sort of drama together and this resolution. So yeah.
What do you do the next time to try to plan better? You said. Like what would you
I mean, what like probably this would have happened. Well, okay, like for example, my first example where there was one kid, I ended up just like closing down that class because I was like, okay, this is just like give me a break. And then like think about my marketing strategy and think about the whole class in general and contemplate life's purpose and am I doing anything? But like on the other one, like, I mean, clearly that happened for a reason. And so it's like sometimes your gut, like it's like when you get food sick and you're like, it was those mushrooms. You know what I mean? And so you're like, like sometimes if classes go all off course, it's like your intuition can kind of tell you. But again, it was probably a reason. Either the PDF was corrupt, or you were allowing too much talking, or you didn't say the rules ahead of time, or whatever. I just think like, I don't know. I take a lot of ownership for when things go wrong because it's up to you to set the standards. And so I just think kind of, it's like inspiration for putting new things in place. Like, for example, maybe I add a slide, which I probably should do soon with like class expectations where it's like, have fun, be nice, and don't draw all over the screen and, be respectful with your pen, like stuff like that. And maybe just add a little bit more, expectations.
Okay. Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense. Like trying to add structure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those are interesting like techniques that you brought up. I'm wondering, like, how did you learn those techniques? Like in the way that you were trained, what were the best ways that you were trained to learn these?
I mean, a lot of this honestly relates to like my improv training, my improv acting is where you just learn to say yes and I think also like kids are really, I don't know, I just like I don't really stand up well to people most of the time. Like I'm really like kind of like, maybe you're right. Like, and then I will and I won't. You know what I mean? And so a lot of the times, like I don't mind going with the flow. And so I think as long as you get there, like honestly, one of my techniques, I don't know, I'm telling you, a lot of this I just made up. And I don't know. And then like I just kind of but another thing, like I have this like funny thing that I started. Like I do it every now and then where I'll like start off the class being really chatty. And then I wait for someone to go like, when's class gonna start? And I'm like, it is started already. Aren't we here? Hello. Do you guys want to learn? Okay, let's go. And so it's kind of because I think a lot of times you start the class right away and like that, like everyone kind of has like that jitter, or like they want to tell something or good. So I kind of like to start it off like flipped, where they're like, aren't we supposed to be learning something? And I'm like, ha ha ha. This is called warm up. Right. And now we're all getting on that thinking, but like, you're right. So yeah, I tried to kind of like get on their level.
Yeah, I love that. Get out all the energy.
Right. And then like that desire to focus and sort of that, like, that fourth wall or whatever, like awareness where someone's like, hey, aren't we going to do something? I'm like, we are, but yeah, let's do it even more. And then like, yeah, it kind of gets everyone united.
Yeah. What about So that's cool to learn about how your improv like really impacted things. And then what about your more official training that you got as well? Because you said you love that. Like
Right.
what was so great about it?
I guess the fact that like finally school was being useful, because I always felt like I ended up like the reason I was skipping, like I just got so sick of it. But I actually like I started like full-time working and like networking. I was like loving my job so much. I was like managing a concert venue by the end, and like running all their social media and marketing, which they really did not need to give me that. Like they gave me way too much of it. Like I was too charismatic that like I didn't do a good job. But I learned a lot. And so the formal training, I just thought it was so exciting. Oh, this is a really good point. I thought it was so exciting how real life relatable it was. Like the projects, they'd say like, now pick one of your classes and and so the fact that I could look at something going on in my real life and then like dissect it was fantastic. And so I'm like, oh, so in these classes too, it's like I need to make sure the kids are realizing like yeah, I think the more it connects to your real life, the more you're like, whoa, I want to learn more. And also if it's on your level of understanding.
Yeah, tell me a little bit more about that. Like, I'm actually pretty curious of how they would like apply it to how they would bring in.
Oh, give me a break. Let's like each week would be your whatever divided by theme, like class management or lesson planning. Like that one I didn't do so well. The PowerPoint, freaking research, and then they'd say like pick one of your classes and create class like record how the class goes and then rewatch it and figure out how you would manage it better or come up with 5 techniques for transitions, because like I guess like transit, like you can have all your little like beep 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 time to go or whatever. And so they just kind of like that sort of push to try something like that is so relatable, and then you're getting credit for it. And then I find like I really wasn't getting good, like I always as a kid I was always getting good grades, and then college I just gave up. And so then when I did my training I was like making A's, and I was like, oh, so I think the fact of being like rewarded was really like motivating. Oh, I'm like, great. Now I need to add a motivation system, a reward system to my classes too. I'm literally doing like all of this almost by myself. So I'm like, okay, great. All these revelations are really helpful. Yeah, we'll get there.
Future states, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's awesome that you love so much that that training and how they did it. Is there anything like what would you have changed or wanted to improve? Like if you could.
I'll tell you what, like. Okay, so I'll tell you like one thing and then I'll tell you another thing. So like I always thought it was so like annoying how like some of the stuff was like very superficial. It's like, go comment on 2 people's projects. I feel like it should be like comment on everyone's project or just that invitation to do more. Because when they only were saying like do 2, you're like, okay, like, and because you want people to watch your stuff too. I think that just be like a little more exciting and interesting. And actually, like just like unrelated to this, but related, I actually was like reached out to by this EMBA program, executive MBA program, and they like reached out to me and offered like a scholarship for me to go to their school and get an EMBA, which I'm cracking up over because I'm like, oh my god, if I have an MBA, the whole world is screwed up because like I'm just gonna probably BS my way through that too. But also not, because I started taking their classes and it's like really awesome online. It's like very interactive and it's kind of interesting. And again, it's like it's so relatable to what I'm doing right now. And I'm like, help me, because I'm really trying to like start a world in like ideally international company that's like known by all. And so actually having this training would be awesome. And then on top of that, lately like I was overseas and I realized like my favorite part about it and my favorite part in Shanghai was relying on public transit. So I've come back and I've gotten rid of my car. And so now I'm like literally like and I have a daughter too. So I'm just like taking the bus all the time. And then like, okay, my husband has a car. So like sometimes I use his, but for the most part, I'm like literally like my shins, I'm like getting a sore on my shin. I'm like, oh my God, okay, I really committed to this. But basically the point is now I'm extremely excited because this master's program, they like the big thing is like they're on your phone. And so I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get a freaking MBA on the bus. And so I'm just like so excited about this. It'll like start next spring. I'm like so excited to get an MBA. I literally do want to try my hardest because now, well, almost my hardest, because now I realize it's so relevant, and probably the harder I try, the better I'm actually, the more intelligent I'll be. And the convenience versus that program. I mean, it was a little bit glitchy. And so I think the fact that it's like mobile based, and on top of that, now the other thing is like, so much of it is the networking, is like the who's who of who's in that, because it's kind of like a good business MBA school. And so I'm like, okay, this time I'm going to be active on the message boards, and I will go above and beyond, even if not like, because it wouldn't hurt. And so I think that community is very appealing as well. So the convenience, they offered me a scholarship, the like legitimacy of it, the usefulness of it, and the network. I'm like, why would I not go get a flippin' MBA? Take that, university, young me, you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, my perspective is changing. Okay. I probably should have just done a gap year.
Shouldn't we all? Yeah, I'm wondering, in the training that you have already received, do you feel like you have faced any difficulties in teaching that like wasn't really covered in your training or was missed?
Well, one, lesson plans, obviously. But again, I'm just kind of like, whatever about that. Actually, I could probably, I could probably write lesson plans based off of the PowerPoints I've created. So I think I would just create it. I don't know how I do it. It's like you ask the musicians, how did Bono write, U2 or whatever. The thing I'm having trouble with is because it's that they don't teach teachers to sell their classes. They only teach teachers to teach. 1,000%, if I could like scream on a mountain at, the man in charge of stuff, I would say, why aren't they teaching teachers to become entrepreneurs, and how to be a tutor, and how to pick your price, and how to, so that was missing, is like this whole sales aspect and valuing yourself. But of course, they don't want you to learn that, because then you're going to, not go teach at schools and, not do your role in society. But I don't know that whole marketing sales thing of, it's totally missing.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
In advertising classes, I mean, but why would you not want your teachers advocating? I mean, again, if you're having these journey people coming, why, if they're telling their friends and they are promoting, I mean, I was getting so excited about my classes. I'm still am. And I'm like, heck yeah. And it makes money for other people, but it would be cool to have that, training of marketing a little bit.
Yeah. No, I mean, that definitely makes sense that you would want that included.
What did I pay for? What did I pay for at university? Did they even teach? No.
Yeah. So that did they also teach any strategies, or do you have any strategies as well for teaching content that you're not familiar with?
No. And no, when I went to China, I said, I'm not even that good at English. Let me teach the ABCs. And that's what I'm doing now with financial literacy, is like, I'm starting with kindergarten, I'm like, credit, debit. I'm not about to teach anything I don't understand. I mean, I'm like, I would get caught in a minute. So yeah.
What do you think like would even help in those type of situations? Like if you were given
I don't know, like then again, like, like maybe starting off with some sort of video where you guys like all kind of learn about like the cell molecules or whatever. Then you'd be like, whoa, cool. Like as a teacher, and then after that, you'd be like, wow, that was so awesome. Okay, it looks like you guys, now we're going to write about like the nucleus. Whoa. Does anyone remember stuff from the video? You know what I mean? Maybe some sort of like assistant there. Some sort of chat GPT that in the form of, freaking magic school bus, one day or whatever. Like an AI created animation that entertains everybody and teaches. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I guess let me go back kind of like, let's take a step back to when we were talking about training. I'm wondering, how do you feel about like mentorship, people observing, feedback, things like that?
Oh, I really like people helping me because I'm so appreciative of their time. And it's like, I'm like, oh, you'll help me? Great. And then I like burn out people because they're like, whoa. And so, and then me as a mentor, like, I'll teach, like if they're hardworking or whatever, like I love it. So I just think you're so lucky for anyone giving you time and help with good intentions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely like people's time is very important. Why do you say that you appreciate it so much?
I guess I'm just really trying to do a lot of huge things.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like I've just moved a lot, and so I don't have a huge community. And so when people actually like take me seriously and like I can show them really what I'm doing, they're like, whoa. And I'm like, yeah, you're welcome, but also like help. And so yeah, I mean, again, like I could just use all the help I can get. And so I'm just like, but again, like I'm not gonna give up. So I'm just really trying so hard. And yeah, thankful for people's help. Unless, like if it's like, well, they're qualified. Even like, I tutor a 9-year-old and he's helping me and he looks at my stuff all the time and he's qualified. So I don't quite mean qualified in, any way other than if someone's just, being opinionated and like, I don't know though. I was going to say an annoying teenager, but honestly, I would love a teenager to be annoyed and look at me. So anyway, yeah, I mean, I know, I think there's so much, you can always just hear out people's ideas and then you just have to kind of decide what maybe we leave for round 2 or round 10, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I completely understand.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably all the questions that I have for right now. So I'll just open the floor up to Kaye. If you have any questions that that maybe you wanted to have asked or that I missed. Oh, you're on.
Yeah, I'm on mute. I'm looking for that follow-up question. If you can give me just 1 second, I'm gonna find that.
Take your time.
Yeah. Yeah, but I really enjoy like your whole goal, Kelly. You sound like very impassioned, especially about like what you want to do, what you want to achieve, the impact you want to have on these kids. So, yeah, I do admire what you're doing.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Yeah, and that's what Sebastian, he's known what I've been doing for a few years now, and so it's been fun seeing his website grow, and I think he's having fun seeing this come together. And so again, maybe one day I'll show you one more thing I'm doing, if you don't mind.
Okay? Sure.
Okay. So basically this is going to be our website, but just a little bit different. And so it's going to kind of, because I've just spent so much time tutoring kids, like I know like there's just not a lot of competition of really cool interactive websites for kids that are educational. So you'll like show up here and then you'll like travel along and you'll have our songs, our karaoke, but also like every kid plays the recorder. So I want to get we have a bunch of songs. I want to get like the recorder music and the piano music of our songs. And then like we have like our videos, a library, the bank, which will have and again our videos that like our animations that are all educational, books to read, like we have online books, games where you can go shopping, the credit union, because I literally have a song called There's More Than Banks, because I want people to learn like you can like invest and stuff like that. And then art here, and then actually it loops, so it'll go back here and it'll be like a looping and then also probably we'll put like one criticism was like it's too complicated, so we might put like a little map here that's like a cheat sheet of like everything, you can just click. So yeah, like, and then this one's so cute. This is the inside of the library, and it'll have all of our books here. The art, garden, customer service, but he spelled it wrong.
And it's super cute and engaging, like definitely for your
kids.
I just had one other question, just a follow-up. If you can just give us some insight into just your idea or either your experience with an exceptional teacher training experience, like even if it's imaginative, what would that look like for you?
I guess I just think of my mentor right now, the one who's kind of supporting this whole wall to the vault thing that I'm, really doing, like walking the plank with, piranhas all around, we still haven't made a profit. Like we're like, I'm really like risking a lot here, but I believe in it so much. And she just really like she just kind of like only encourage, like 99% encouraging, but every now and then, but also kind of demanding. She's a lawyer, so she'll be like, send that email to this person. And I'm like, okay, fine. So she's like a tiny bit bossy, but just insanely encouraging. And just constantly is like, you're the most creative girl I've ever met in my life. You're incredible. You're incredible. And so, and then like, she's like this award-winning lawyer. Like she's won like literally hundreds of awards. And then she just always tells stories. And then she always just talks about like she always says, you know, like if somebody, she's from Long Island. She's like, if somebody is working at your company and they're doing something they don't like, that means you need to hire another person. You should only have people doing the things you like to do. And so I just think she's constantly just like encouraging me. But then she'll be like, we need goals. You know, and so like, you know, and so constantly encouraging me, but also kind of like giving
structure,
assignments, and like focus and structure. And again, I've never been able to really like keep a job too long, in the sense that I would just get so angry that the boss wouldn't listen to me and wouldn't take my advice. And so I think you know, and maybe everybody is that respect to build the class on your own and to build things on your own and trust your instinct. And then, but just get that guidance of like, how are you going to make money? You know, how are we advertising? So, but honestly, just the compliment, you know, I send at least 1 or 2 emails a week bragging about my great ideas. Like, wow, I just thought of this coupon. And she's, that's great. You know, and like, so much of it is that being told good job, you know, that simple.
So it sounds like, if I could paraphrase, just the mentoring, encouraging. She's kind of like a warm demander, where she's encouraging, but she's also very practical in terms of these are some of the structural things and technical things that we need to do to kind of drive the goals and objectives.
Exactly. Because I judge myself all the time. I'm going to correct if I did something stupid. I'm not going to do it next time. And so like, I'm there to take, you know, all the criticism of myself and just being told what you're doing well. I mean, that's what we do with students, right? Focus on the pot. So it's getting that same reaction.
So would you say the feedback that is given, that feedback is very helpful?
Yeah. I mean, even just the basic great job, as well as these just fantastic notes of how you make your decisions. Not so much like what your decision should be in this moment, but rather like, here's how I would think through that. For example, like hire another person, or I don't even know, just all these. Oh, like one thing she said, like the greatest thing you can ever do is show someone your appreciation. Like we were talking about sending a thank you letter, and she said like
improv.
Yeah, I love the accent.
I know, but yeah, so. Yeah, I just like there's all these mindsets, and then I've seen her. This is the other thing. She's so successful and great. Like I just really like her personality. She said she's like, I'm one of those people you love or you hate, and I don't really care. And so like it's true. You see people really don't like her, and I'm like, how are you so comfortable like not being liked? And so I think the fact is also like actions speak louder than words. You know, I like monkey see, monkey do. You know, so just like that time together to observe. But again, we actually worked together for 3 years now. In the first 2 years, we never met. Other than on a phone call once a week, but just like I just told them like this encouragement is everything, and thanks for giving me a chance, because like this is, you know, I'm building something here that I if I ever applied for this job, I'm not at all qualified, but let me show you what I can do. So encouragement.
So that relationship building is important.
Yeah,
that's an important piece.
The fact I respect her so much. But I see how qualified and how like that's why I told her, I said, you're going to teach me everything. You know, it's like she's like someone I would like to be, or, you know, in many ways. And so I think if it was just anybody, I would be like, whatever, you know, even if they're complimenting me, I'm like, who are you to compliment me? But I think someone that has proven their qualifications and also their character. I'm like, that's what I'm saying. I'm so lucky for that. Yeah, I'm so lucky like for their time.
And she's not even an instructor. So it's not that she needs to be qualified as an instructor. Just okay. Yeah, I like that.
That was very insightful. Very good information. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I also just have like one more question before we end. But I wanted to learn more about the AI tools that you've mentioned like carried it throughout. Like, what are these tools that you're using? What are the tools that you're thinking of bringing in? That you think will be helpful? Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm like, let me find my freaking notebook. Cause I even raised my hand. Okay. I went to this, like, I'm telling you, like, now that I'm living in Seattle, I'm going to all these, like, you know, the top talks I can go to throughout the week. And I like pretend like Walter the Vault was invited, but I invited myself. And so basically I asked this exact same question because this guy, his name is like Michael J. Jabor, and he's like been like freaking head of health, head of education, and like head of all this stuff. And now he's like, whatever. But then now he's like head of education at chief of innovation at education for Microsoft. Or he's like, he's been using AI for 20 years. That's why I said to somebody else, I said, no wonder he's freaking done everything because he's been using AI for 20 years and we all learned about it this year. And so anyway, so I actually asked him that question because he started saying, "Oh, they can make your." In 6 minutes, I made a whole curriculum, and I said, "What? How are you making a PowerPoint in 6 minutes?" And then he was like, "Well, make sure But he said on ChatGPT they can make PowerPoints. I said, "Okay," but basically everything I'm doing right now is all on Canva, and my favorite feature they have is Magic Expand. Because we actually like wall to the vault, like they originally like hired Disney illustrators because I knew someone, and these people had worked for Disney to do their first book, right here. So basically, like these are like really, really, really expensive pictures, but they own them, and so now, like as I was building out these PowerPoints, right, like the picture was like vertical, but I needed it to be horizontal. And so I would like upload the picture and then do Magic Expand, and it would just build out the whole rest of the picture. Like it would just build out it would just build it all out. Magic Expand.
Oh, like it'll do the rest of the borders and everything.
Yeah, let's say my frame right now was the page, and I only had this tiny amount. If I click Magic Expand, shoom, 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 and it gives you 4 choices, and then you can redo it again. So again, as we're now Canva, I'm using everything on. And then the other one that I want to there's a couple I want to look into. Like there's one where apparently you can upload your character and then it will move. And so like we have like our animated character. And so if we could get his mouth like, blah, 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 that'd be like spectacular. I forgot what it's called. I can send it to you. And then the other one is the voice. And so we have like this wall to the vault voice that's very like specific. And it's called like DALL-E 3. That's like, I wrote a note about it, but I haven't used it.
Okay. Yeah.
And apparently you upload a voice and then they can talk in your voice. I'm like, give me a break. Everyone's going to get identity thefted in a month. So this guy, he's been head of this and that in the Department of Education. And so he was saying there's this debate now of should students be allowed to use AI or not? And then he was saying, well, to the teachers, do you guys use AI in your emails? And he was saying, well, why not? And like, do you ever use it? Why not? And then he said, basically, he feels horrible for anyone that recently graduated college because they're missing out on this education that's like this wave that's coming, in the sense that like, why in the world, it's almost unethical to not teach kids to use these tools. And what you should be teaching them is how to tell when the AI is hallucinating and like making up like just junk. Phrase your request or whatever that word is. And so he was saying that's like we should be embracing AI. It's literally here. It's not going away. It's the future. And so if we can actually equip these kids, teaching them how to use that, I mean, that's going to project them so well. And I just thought that was like awesome, because a lot of the like, oh, we have it blocked at our schools, and one of the teachers was like, no, I'm just trying to get my kids not to cheat, to whatever. And I'm like, you guys are like, okay, I'm literally about to be like, a CEO over here, and I was not the world's best student, but like I figured it out, like people are gonna figure it out. And so like cheat, and so basically I'll tell you one more thing is that this all relates, is that I was my partner with Wall to the Vault, I stayed at her place in New York, and we were talking about her daughter was doing building a project. And I said like, because I have a 1.5-year-old. I was like, oh my God, I cannot wait till we're doing projects like that way. I said, well, actually, like, I don't know. Did you what do you think about that? About parents helping out with projects? And so what she told me that one year, all these kids did this science project and they all got back their projects. And all the moms talked and they figured out all the parents who helped their kids all got A's, and all the kids who did it by themselves all got like C's and D's. And so later, even the mom went and talked to the teacher, and she said they'd had a couple drinks and it was, some sort of something. And she ended up saying, listen, do you want to hear something crazy? All the kids whose parents helped out, you gave them all A's, and all the kids who did it by themselves, they got C's and D's. And then she was like, what? Huh? And then she got like, so like furious with herself. And I think that would kind of be that same reaction as well. That same exact thing's going to happen is the kids that are using AI and aren't. You know, it's here now and it is what it is. And so I think a lot of it is that mentorship and that resource. And again, I'm lately like, I'm really into like a couple different like, you know, entrepreneurs and CEOs of our time and these like, you know, epic leaders. And so many of them have been taught by their dads or taught by their brothers or taught by their grandpas and mentored. And they're all like freaking men, you know, maybe I need to learn about some women too. So maybe their moms help them too, or I'll be that woman. But I think again, I think that again, that hand holding with, or that anyway, I'm starting to question like, I don't know, the parents' role. But anyway, oh my God, we're talking forever. So I'm talking forever. But anyway, yeah, I just think like that ethical boundary of how much involvement should you have? Like maybe it's not so bad using AI, using these tools because it's the reality. And then let's see how awesome of stuff you can use when you have this, you know?
Right.
You know,
exactly. Especially like using it in your job. There's no concerns of like plagiarism or anything like that by that point.
Yeah. Right. It's like a pencil versus typing. I mean, now we have AI, so let's turn it up. So,
yeah. No, this has been so interesting talking to you, Kelly. I really like enjoyed your spirit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like almost probably every other teacher, like, I'm just very self-taught. So I just hope you guys like, you know, you'll get lots of different experiences and different opinions. But I hope this was helpful.
But I love it. This has definitely been very helpful. So we can about end the call now, but in a few
I had one more like kind of question. Sure. Like I realized I did like a lot of I'm like, I actually said a thing or two that might be useful in sort of our like marketing or whatever. Do you think there's a way I could get a copy of this video as well, and then maybe we could use some of it or something?
I believe so. I should save the recording so we can find an easy way to send it to you, maybe the Google Drive link or something.
Okay. I'm like, maybe I would just take parts where I'm talking about stuff. I don't know, or it might be nice, you know, so I don't have to say it all again. But
sure.
Totally fine. Thanks. Yeah, and in a couple weeks we'll probably have like a prototype or something, like a design prototype. Yeah, if you'll be open to having.
It better meet all of my expectations, you guys. I'm just kidding. No, that's awesome. This is so great. I'm happy to help out with anything.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. So definitely have a good night. And we'll see you in a couple weeks then.
Cool. Thank you. See you.
Bye. Okay. I'm going to end the recording.
Sure.